Ow. What's up everyone? Punchy back with Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3, Higurashi. Welcome back guys. Hope you all had a good weekend. I had a good one, albeit busy, which would explain why you guys didn't have anything to watch over the weekend. Apologize for that, but I'm back, don't worry, I'm not disappearing again. You guys remember I said, back in the barbecue section, I finally got to eat a lot of barbecue. I'm put a picture. Oh, so good. I'm just craving it again now, but at least I had it. Anyway, I think last time was when, it was when Oishi went all evil. Well, we were on the end of Oishi's regular bad copiness. But we had Coach to come by and kinda save us. Apparently he wasn't doing too well in the Battle of the Wits or the Minds or whatever. But I think it went pretty well. We were saved at least. Also, I got a sweet new stand, so now when things pop up I can be a little farther back. Anyway, let's just get on with it. Because according to you guys, things are about to really hit it off. I mean, they've already gone off with Oishi and everything, but is Hojo-san staying home today too? Alright, so Satoko wasn't there last school day, which is when Oishi came to go see if he could find her, but Punchy's like, no, you can't talk to her, and then that's when he did a little clamp. Yeah. Furuta-san, do you know anything? The teacher's voice wasn't critical, but Rika-chan hung her head, unable to answer, and I felt really bad for her. The teacher called Rika-chan up, and they had an exchange in hushed tones at the dice. At first, Rika-chan said that Satoko's fever had grown worse, but everyone in the class knew it was a lie. Because every day, Rika-chan brought Satoko's bento with her. Satoko-chan, I wonder what happened. Don't ask me. I'm the one who wants to know most of all. It was already the third day since Satoko's first absence. Ever since then, I haven't felt good. Until just last Sunday, everything had been so much fun. I had reached out to Satoko like a real older brother, and we spent that time quietly, but warm and comfortable. So why had it suddenly been flipped over? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that the world had taken a turn for the worse ever since Oishi arrived. Well, it is also us on the outside. We know that this is like the turning point, and we're excited for it. Sorry, Punchy. Thinking on it now, maybe the strange apprehensions plaguing me the night before Oishi arrived had been a sign. Kurado Oishi, Oishiro-sama's servant. What a weird thing that they think that he's the servant, but I mean, maybe he's just a good actor, because we can see the background scenes with him with the police. But when he talked with Punchy Chapter 1, it just seemed like, you know, he really wanted to get to the bottom of it. He really believed that the villagers were the ones who were committing the murders and atrocities. And this is a weird view. Shit, that's impossible. They can't decide Satoko will be the curse victim this year just cause he showed up. This was sort of a slip-up had I committed to cause those fun times to end so suddenly. Yes, it was the day before Oishi appeared. Shion, Mian, and Rena had spoken of the curse surrounding Satoshi and his disappearance. And it was so sinister it gave me a bad premonition. Such a small thing was the slip-up that invited Oishiro-sama's servant? It was absurd. I kept on groaning to myself that I would never accept it, ever. I obviously wasn't the only one suppressing my feelings. Mian and Rena were too. Everyone in the class was doing it. Rika-chan knew something about Satoko's situation, but she wouldn't tell us. Rika-chan still held a calm attitude, like a cat basking in the sun. But she was being unbelievably stubborn about this whole thing. She didn't want to tell us, and that wouldn't change no matter how many times we asked her. Everyone's understood that, so nobody questioned her. If Rika-chan won't talk, then we just have to wait. And she might not be talking because it's something not worth saying. Well, that's interesting. But, I mean, the fact that she always brings Satoko's lunchbox or bento, and Satoko doesn't show up, should be a pretty big sign of how Rika feels. There was no persuasive power in reassurance given with an anxious face like that. Mia was being taciturn, and just looked up at the sky with a somehow annoyed expression. I couldn't tell if she was unhappy that Rika-chan wouldn't talk about it with her own friends, or if she was concerned over Satoko's well-being. Is she though? Cause like just breaking the story. Chapter 2, when she went crazy when Punchy was on the ladder, she went like weird, and she's saying that she said how Satoko's a cursed child and everything, so I don't know, it's different. And what about me? My anxiety was suffocating me day after day. If someone else were looking at me, then maybe I'd look annoyed, like Neon did. Tap tap. Someone tapped my shoulder. It was Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun. Miyabara-san, do you have a minute? Did your ball get stuck again? You guys have to get it yourselves this time. Don't rely on the older kids for everything. I didn't feel like going along with them, so I was a little unsympathetic with my response. We heard a little interesting rumor. A rumor? Yeah. I just thought it might have something to do with that. A rumor about Satoko. They hadn't said it yet. They hadn't said that, but it didn't seem unrelated. They didn't want to talk in the classroom, so they pulled me behind the school building, lending further credence to that thought. I wouldn't ever thought that these two would be like the outlet of information. I always thought they were like, be nice side characters to use in certain situations, just not this one. The back of the school was damp and humid like always. Students didn't really come here because they wanted to. It might, however, have been the ideal location for trading rumors away from prying eyes. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, these rumors, they're about why Satoko is absent, right? We don't know if it has something to do with it, though. Oh, shoot. I missed something. What on earth happened to Satoko? Is she sick? Or could she be, like, really sick or injured or something? No, actually, it's the opposite. I heard my grandma saying that she came to buy tofu at our shop yesterday. Oh, Tomita's family runs a tofu shop, added Okamura-kun. She went shopping? To buy some tofu? My voice sounded so stupefied, even I can tell. It was understandable. I was worried about what grave illness or injury she had, when the person herself had been out and about shopping for tofu. So, how was she? Did she look okay? Was she wearing a mask, like she was getting better? Or was she using crutches, or did she have bandages on her? No, there wasn't really any signs of sickness or injuries on her, but I should have felt relieved that it wasn't an illness or an injury, but my anxiety wasn't going away. Because Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's expressions weren't looking any better. We apparently came to buy one piece of soft tofu, but my grandma said it was strange. Strange. Why? What's wrong with buying a soft tofu? Irritated by how roundabout they were being, I had to desperately fight the irritation from creeping into my voice. Well, Hoju and Furude live by themselves, and they don't have that much money, right? So they only ever buy the cheaper, firmer kind of tofu. They've never bought the soft stuff. It's the most expensive thing there. Soft or hard, they're both tofu, right? Maybe she just wanted to eat some great tofu or something. Well, maybe, but I knew how transparent I sounded right then. This wasn't anything trivial. It was some kind of important clue. Not the cheap, firm tofu, but the expensive, soft kind. Shopping not in the evening after school, but in the middle of the day, I couldn't figure out what those things meant. As I thought hard about it, Okamura-kun took his turn to speak. Me next. This is just a rumor, but apparently he's back. He? Who? Who's back? Hoju's uncle. Satoko's uncle. Right, I think Coach told me about him. Their aunt and uncle had taken them after Satoko and Satoshi lost their parents in the accident. I thought it was going to be the brother. Hoju's uncle. They say he skipped town last year, scared of Oyashiro-sama's curse. He's really scary and violent, like a gang member. Everything Coach told me came back to me in bits and pieces. Right. The mean aunt and uncle who had tormented them all the time. I think he said that after their aunt was beaten to death by the deviant, he ran away to his lover's house in Okinomiya in fear of the curse. Why would she be staying home from school and shopping for soft tofu in the middle of the day just because her uncle came back? My underclassmen clammed up and looked downwards. There must have been some big hint buried in there. Even if I didn't understand, if I told Min and Rena about it, maybe they'd know something. Oh, my bad, you two. You were nice enough to talk about it, and I started hammering you with questions. Oh, no, it's okay. Now we know that she hasn't been in bed this whole time, gravely ill. That's worth something, right? That might be true. But it still won't... It won't make the clouds over my head, over my mind, fade away. Ah! Maibara-san, over there! Okamura-kun cried wildly, pointing at my shoulders behind me. Startled, I turned around, and way on the other side of the schoolyard, near the school gate, I saw a figure trudging forth. Oh no! Look at her eyes! This is how I would normally characterize the evilness, but this must be what Coach said when, like, both her and Satoshi looked very downcast and trodden, like deathly pale from not eating and everything. It's Hoju! I burst into a run faster than I could speak, so that, as quickly as possible, I could see with my own eyes that she was okay. Satoko! Soka seemed taken aback by me shouting and running over to her. Oh! What is it, Punchy-san? You surprised me with all the yelling and running. Stupid! Enough about me already! 3 days! What happened, Satoko? I was so worried. Oh ho 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 ho. What a worrywart. It was only 3 days. You're such a worrywart, Punchy-san. From listening to her, she seemed like the normal Satoko, but I could tell she was clearly acting strangely. Her smile was somehow forlorn, and her complexion was bad for some reason. Hoju! Were you alright? Were you sick or something? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun both expressed their concerns. Just, what happened anyway? 3 days! Do you know how worried I was? Oh, I do so apologize. I was just giving the house a good cleaning. We haven't used it for a rather long time, so everything was covered in dust. Huh? Satoko, what are you talking about? Why would you have to stay home from school to clean the house? Satoko didn't answer me. Instead, she passed by me and headed for the entrance. Gosh, it is nearly about lunchtime, is it not? I am just starving. It was certainly lunch break. I couldn't force her to stop after she told me she wanted lunch since she was so hungry. Well, whatever. Rika-chan's been bringing her lunch for 3 days now. You look like you could eat it today. Let's just go to the classroom and put everyone's mind at ease. You're right. I suppose I may have caused everyone to worry. Oh ho ho. It sure is tough being popular. Oh. I put a hand on Satoko's shoulder and we ran to the classroom together. Up close, I was able to verify that Satoko looked somehow weak. All this anxiety was supposed to go away when I saw her again. That's what I thought. But now, I actually started to have quite different fears. What the heck happened, Satoko? Everyone in the classroom, of course, reacted in the same exact way I had. We were worried about you. I'm glad to see you as well. What were you doing for 3 days? Our classmates showered her in questions. I truly do apologize for causing a fuss. Oh ho ho ho. As she cackled, she chowed down on the bento Rika-chan had made for her. Those in the teacher's lounge must have been informed of Satoko's arrival because our teacher sprinted into the classroom, her breathing ragged. Hojo-san! Oh, sensei. I'm sorry for worrying you these 3 days. Oh ho ho! As you can see, I am fit as a fiddle. My, I was very worried about you. When you are done eating, come right to the teacher's lounge. I have a lot to talk to you about. Oh, I think we can, or at least the adults already can guess about the uncle. Oops, sorry about that. I must be in for good scolding for those 3 days I could class. Oh ho ho. Satoko laughed sheepishly while she scratched her head, and the rest of the class burst into laughter. The teacher was acting angry, but she breathed a sigh of relief at seeing Satoko healthy and smiling as she ate her lunch with the class surrounding her. What a relief, right, Rena? Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm glad she's okay. I looked at Rena and knew. She had a sense that something was, but Satoko was off too. I liked to see Mian detached from the clamor as well, with a somewhat grim expression. But Rika-chan, on the other hand, was smiling from ear to ear. She spread out the bento boxes one by one as Satoko finished them. Finally, Satoko was satisfied, and after enjoying a thorough conversation with her classmates, remembered she'd been called to the teacher's lounge. It's such a pain, but I think she'll be angry if I don't go. I'll go with you. Satoko rises from her seat, and Rika-chan runs over to her. I do apologize, Punchy-san. I'll be right back after getting scolded. Right. I mean, I could go with you too. We're all comrades in getting scolded in the teacher's lounge ever since the curry incident, right? That won't be necessary. Punchy should mind the place while we're away. Rika-chan's words were gentle, but the firm rejection was clear in her eyes. The two of them exited into the hallway, walking shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the class breathed a collective sigh of relief, broke apart, and went back to the usual lunch break banter. We, however, couldn't go back to how we usually were. Not I, not Mian, and of course, not Rena. They stared at the classroom exits Satoko and Rika-chan had left through, their expressions a little distant and grim. We're all friends, isn't that right? I blurted out something strange, so Mian and Rena turned around with dubious expressions. I won't keep anything from my friends, so I'll tell you what I just heard a little while ago. I told them the stories I heard from Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun earlier, about the tofu shop and how Satoko's uncle had apparently come back. All at once without letting them speak. And that's all I know. So if either of you knows anything, please say so. I've said everything I can. I ended my sentence firmly and looked into Mian and Rena's eyes in turn. Rena stared right back at me. Her eyes didn't falter. Without even opening her mouth, I could tell she wasn't hiding anything. Then our gazes turned to Mian. It's not like I was trying to keep it a secret or anything. Mian couldn't seem to endure our silent stares and began to talk timidly, as if she was guilty of something. It's just, now that you've said something, Punchy-chan, I guess I have to talk about it. Mi-chan, you know something? Well, I mean, I knew it from the first day that Satoko's uncle had come home. That he just randomly showed up in Hinamizawa last Sunday. Why did you tell us that? I'm sorry. My angry shout caused Mian to flinch away, look down, and hang her head uncomfortably. Punchy-kun, it's nothing to get angry about. You're scaring Mi-chan. Huh? Oh. Sorry I shouted at you. I lowered my head in apology. Mian accepted it, collected herself, and continued. According to her, her uncle's relationship with his lover, whom he had been with in Okidamiya, had collapsed. Without anywhere to go, he went back to Hinamizawa. And on that Sunday, the day of the barbecue, her uncle ran into Satoko and brought her back to the house. Why? Did he bring her with him? Because he's a good-for-nothing parasite. He can't even cook by himself, much less do any cleaning. But that's... He brought Satoko-chan back to have her cook and cleaned? I remembered that she said she'd been cleaning the house when I met her back at the school gate. A moment later, the pieces fell into place, into the jigsaw puzzle of unease. And as for what the puzzle depicted when I saw it from afar, I could see the answer clearly. Satoko was locked up at home and tormented into doing the housework. Those are the rumors. If you knew that, then why didn't you speak up? I nearly yelled at Mian, but hastily stopped myself. Mi-chan, is that true? I haven't seen it myself, so I don't know if it's true or not. Mian looked down again, and staring at the floor, grew quiet. Just like last year, when they lived with their mean uncle and his wife? But this uncle is completely helpless when it comes to housework, right? If Satoko is that important, then there wouldn't be any reason to torment her, would there? Punchy-kun, I don't know what grounds you have for saying that, but you shouldn't be so irresponsible. Rena clearly and directly got mad at me. You don't know much about this, so don't talk as though you do. Yes, that's clearly what she meant, which Punchy seems to be getting in trouble for all the time. Fine, then do you know something, Rena? I don't know anything either. I didn't know her uncle had taken her to the house until hearing it just now. But the situation is different from a year ago. The situation is different. What does that mean? Satoshi-kun isn't here. Satoshi really cared about his little sister, and he always stuck up for her. He was her shield so that she would be affected just a little less by their mean aunts and uncles fighting. The mean uncle and Satoko-chan are the only ones living there now. Can't you imagine how stifling that must be, Punchy-kun? He only even came back because he broke up with the woman he was staying with. Do you think a person would come back for such a... who came back? for such an unpleasant reason, would be able to treat Satoko-chan kindly? She was right. It wasn't easy for me to imagine Satoko not being tormented. Sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry too. I sounded like I was interrogating you, didn't I? Oh. An awkward atmosphere floated among us. The three of us remained silent and just stared at the floor. Oh, what a rough time. Okay, well, before Satoko comes back, we are gonna leave it there for now. Oh, this one got heavy. And I mean, it's Higurashi, so I assume it's to get even heavier, but... So... I mean, something I never really thought about, because I just assumed, like, oh, her entire family is dead. No, actually, because just the aunt died. And the parents. And the brother, but not the uncle. And oh, poor Satoko, those dead eyes. That's what always gets me. That's what always gets me about the curse form, Mia and then Rena, about their really dead and scary eyes. But she looks just so sad. Ugh, it's not the best one to come back from a free weekend. But I mean, moving the story along, it's an interesting development. A new member of Satoko's family. And I'm sure we'll meet more, I would assume, because, I don't know, Satoshi's situation really confuses me, because I thought that he was demoned away, but I can't imagine with the way the story is going that he won't come back at some point. But if he does, was he really demoned away? Did he really run away? I don't know. As usual, I'm confused, but as usual, everything will come in time. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And don't worry, I'll be uploading every day. Bye-bye.